Just go flat. All right, so the most common way I would get to this arm bar would be the head lever. All right, so this one was really good off of transition. So if I had to say, my number one, setup to my arm bar after the takedown, what's this head lever here? All right, so he's gonna have his arm straight out here like this, and it just happens when he's posting. Right, I take him down, he posts, come up, right to my head lever. All right, just like this. So I'm gonna catch the wrist. I'm on the left side here, my knees in the middle. All right, my right hand is just on this other side of his body here, and I'm going head in the shoulder, and I pull the arm back. All right, so here, head in the shoulder, pull the arm back. Now my knee that's in the middle is gonna kind of come out and slide up right to here. All right, I trap his arm in between my stomach and my thigh here, and I just kind of pinch, and I'm only just here for a second as I slide back and get to my arm bar. All right here, right to my arm bar. I cover his elbow, and I keep my fist in the back. All right, we want to make sure it stays legal and we don't lose it. It's potentially dangerous. All right, so again, notice here his arms out here like this. I'm riding him hard, head and the shoulder. I'm pressing his shoulder down. All right, so I really don't want his chest to be up at all. I want to press his shoulder down like this. Lots of pressure. I'm on my toes now. I pull his arm back, slide my knees up, slide back. All right, my elbow is pinched, his elbow is covered, and I have my fist in the middle of his back. All right, so again, this is gonna be our most common off a takedown. All right, most common off a takedown for multiple reasons. One, when they're posting, but then two, for our next setup, just wrist to wrist, they're gonna fight a lot more off the takedown. After I break them down a couple times and maybe turn them, the fight stops. The fight stops, and they want the match to be over. So lots of forward pressure on my toes, keep his shoulder down with my head, right? Pull the arm back nice and tight, and then we secure it by keeping his elbow in my armpit and me pinching my elbow down. Get to my arm bar. All right, so now when I have my arm bar, remember I have that fist in his back, right in the middle. I'm covering his elbow, right? I'm just gonna fight underneath to the wrist, right? So fight my hand underneath all the way to the wrist. All right, so now probably the biggest thing here, this is the biggest mistake I see people do. I will slide back a little bit. The biggest mistake people do is they try to jump over the head. All right, so it's very important. I'm driving his shoulder right to his ear. All right, so here, fist on his back, I have his wrist. I'm driving his shoulder to his ear. Lots of pressure here. All right, so from here, there's no way that he can sit up into me. All right, when I jump over top, like this, he wants to sit up into me. You can do the move, sit up into me. This, I lose the position. All right, so again, that's never happened. Never happened to anybody I've known that had been in the armbar system that I grew up in. It's never happened, right? Because I'm driving the shoulders to his ear. There's no way, it's too much pressure. Way too much pressure. His other shoulder is pinned to the mat. All right, now I'm driving. All right, drive. As I get a little bit high here, I get near the end, I settle back. Settle back, I go chest to chest, elbow goes forward, right for the pin. All right, guys, so getting to this arm bar and getting to our arm bar wrist turn. So we'll go head lever setup, pull the arm back, get here like this. Remember, fist in the middle of his back, I'm covering his elbow. Right now I'm fighting for his wrist. All right, fight for this wrist and I pull it in. Like, I don't want his elbow to be out. I think it gets awkward, it's hard to take over here. So I want to pull this arm in nice and tight. All right, from here, again, this is the most important thing everyone makes a mistake of, is I'm not rushing it, I'm driving his shoulder to his ear at a diagonal. All right, I'm not circling around his head, I'm driving his shoulder to his ear. All right, so fist in the middle of the back, I'm driving. Lots of pressure. All right, lots of pressure, his other shoulder's stuck on the mat here. Now I'm driving, I settle back. All right, again, I'm not jumping around his head, I'm settling back here, right, and I'm gonna finish chest to chest, right? Again, it's very tempting to want to go all around his head and sit out, right? That triggers a lot of different responses from him, and I've just seen them be able to get away. All right, so we're here, we drive forward, chest to chest, and I use my head as a post. Right here, right there. It makes it really tough for them to defend, right? There's so much pressure on their shoulder, on their neck, on their ear. It's pretty much, I would say, if you do it correctly, there's no way they're gonna be able to counter that. There's no way. I haven't seen it, so there's no way they're gonna be able to counter it. And again, this is a very strong move. This is the first. This is always my first option with the arm bar. Always my first option. was with the leg in. All right, so going back to the setup we did earlier, all right, where he's here like this, I bump him forward, block, throw the leg in just like that. All right, so as I'm fighting, all right, I control the position, come under, scoop, jam my arm bar in. Now, hey, this one right here is the arm bar where the crowd goes wild. All right, this is a good one. This is a fun one, and this one is, you know, it is one of those moves where it looks really cool and it's extremely effective. All right, so as I'm fighting, I have the arm bar, he's staying up, I'm fighting for this half. Fighting under, right to this half. All right, from here, remember my boot, my leg in is real short, so from here, I'm gonna roll. All right, so we'll move over here just a little bit. So from here, I got my arm bar, I got my half, I'm gonna push off, I'm gonna roll, pop my hips, right to the pin. You guys can see the elbow comes out naturally, just like that. All right, so again, this is a great second level to this arm bar half. All right, this arm bar half. All right, so as he's flat here, I get to my arm bar, same way I've been doing with my head lever. All right, so he's out flat here, maybe his arm is out, so I'm trying to get to the wrist, I can't get it. I'm having a hard time getting to the half. All right, so I'm gonna go over his arm, all right, and give this crossface feel. All right, so give it over his arm, crossface feel, but I wanna keep my palm down. All right, so palm down here like this. All right, so the first version, just when he's really flexible, all right, just kinda wanna get under his chin, so I'll go crossface under his chin here. Now I'm gonna circle behind. All right, so a couple things here. As I'm circling, all right, I'm also walking my feet backwards. All right, it's not just a pure circle. All right, so I have this arm bar. All right, I start to circle. All right, now as I'm circling, I'm walking my feet back because I want to pull him, but I have to make sure I have discipline not to physically pull him so then he gets his arm out. All right, so as you guys will see that here in a second. So as I'm starting to circle, walk my feet back to here. All right, just a little bit. So as I get to here, all right, I have him over, my palm is still down. Now I'm gonna transition to go over top. All right, I'm gonna use my chin to push his shoulder down. I'm gonna go over top here like this. On my toes, right here, just like that. All right, I'm gonna go over top of his head. Now, I wanna make sure, all right, one way that I can lose this is him to flex out, all right? And that happens when I try to physically pull him backwards. So I have my arm bar, I have this cross face, palm underneath. As I'm starting to circle like this, when I start to try to pull him backwards like this, I lose my arm bar strength. Right? So I'm gonna pull him backwards like this, he's just gonna flex out of it, right? And I'm gonna lose it. All right, so I'm not pulling him back, right? As I'm circling, I'm walking my feet backwards. All right, so here I'm circling, walk my feet backwards. All right, again, here I can start to chin down, go over top. All right, so second version here is gonna be when they arm drag. All right, so one counter that we can do from this arm bar. All right, I have this arm bar like this, as he can just start to wrestle into me. All right, so he wrestles into me like this, right there. All right, so as he starts, I'm starting to try to run under, arm bar, wrist, kind of come under. As he starts to wrestle into me a little bit, so start circling, I'm just gonna post, all right, post, walk backwards. Come over top and get to the pin. All right, so as they start to wrestle into you, all right, and they try to arm drag this arm bar, all right, he starts to bring his hips up just like this, all right, I gotta quickly get to the other side. Quickly get to the other side, post.